Lovely evening to you and welcome to the W Mobility webinar brought to you by the W Initiative of Access Bank. We sincerely apologize for the delay in starting the webinar. We hope that you can bear with us. It's been an amazing year, and as always, it is our pleasure to bring you insightful and impacting sessions such as this. Today, we will be discussing a very salient issue that many of us shy away from. Welcome to the W Mobility webinar brought to you by the W Initiative of Access Bank. We sincerely apologize for the delay in starting the webinar. We hope that you can bear with us. We apologize, as it seems that we are going through a little bit of technical challenge here, but we are good to go. Thank you for joining us here on the W Mobility webinar, and welcome to you all. It's a beautiful Thursday here in Lagos, Nigeria, and my name is Ifeoluwa Omoto, and as always, I am delighted to be hosting you on this webinar today. Having introduced myself, what I would like you to do is to go to the comment section and introduce yourself. Let us know your name and where you're joining us from. In previous times, we have recorded more than 5 continents where participants have joined our sessions. And we know today is not going to be an exception. So please go ahead and make sure to use the chat box. Now, in recent times, you would agree with me that driving has moved from being a luxury to becoming a very important survival skill that everybody needs, which is why the W Initiative has introduced a scheme called the Ladies Let's Drive Initiative, which allows women to learn to drive at a discounted price. Today, we are taking the conversation a notch further, and we are saying, let's talk about cars. Let's talk about maintenance and many other things required to have your cars in good shape. So welcome to you once again, and thank you so much for joining us, and thank you as well for your patience. For me, I like to see the virtual claps in the comment section anytime I introduce any of the amazing speakers I have here today. So starting now, please welcome with your virtual claps, and to give the welcome address, the team lead of consumer assets at Access Bank, Jacob Danjuma. Good afternoon, Jacob, and welcome to the W Mobility webinar.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Oh, so sorry about that. It seems Jacob is experiencing a little bit of a challenge. Welcome back, Jacob.
Yes, thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here and to see everyone on this call. Hope we'll have a great time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the welcome address, Jacob. We are glad to have you on the session today. Now, generally, there is a notion that women do not have the required knowledge about cars, driving or maintenance, and a whole lot of things. And many of us just enter our cars in the morning and just, we just zoom off. And so we have put together this webinar to increase the general knowledge of women about cars and to provide important maintenance and driving tips to women. You need to know about fuel efficiency, acceleration, handling, and so on and so forth. And we are just the right set of people to do justice to that. But before I introduce these speakers to you, we have a short video we would like you to watch. So please make sure to sit back and grab your notepads, your pens, your popcorn, your juice, whatever makes you comfortable, and learn from this video we're about to play you. Make sure you do not go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Meet Sarah. She's a busy mom who lives by her car.
Picking kids up and dropping kids off, and I have my own business, which takes me all over town. My transportation makes my world go round. I mean, my car is indispensable for a lot of things that I do pretty much every day. I know that it's important to keep my car in good shape, but honestly, I just like a better idea of what exactly they do when I take my car in.
Sarah is smart to recognize the importance of taking care of her car. To show Sarah what goes into good automotive maintenance, Designing Spaces steered her towards a local Meineke car care center.
We were excited to be a part of Designing Spaces and meeting Sarah. We know that car care can be intimidating. At Meineke, we believe that education and knowledge is the most important thing we can do to help take the mystery out of car care and relieve our customers' anxiety. Hi Sarah, welcome to Meineke.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. This is really interesting to me. I feel like for a lot of women, what goes on in these bays is kind of a big mystery, and I just think I'd be more confident in how my car performs if I had a basic understanding of how it should be maintained.
Sure, there's a lot of confusion. We'll do a multi-point inspection along with your oil change. We'll actually take a look at all the important aspects of your car. So it's kind of like when you go to the doctor for your regular checkup to stay healthy, we'll take a look at your car and see what you need.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well, we think it's important that you come on back and actually take a look at what we're doing, so why don't we head on back?
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
First up, oil change.
Okay, Sarah, here comes your car in the bay. We're going to get it up on the rack, and the first thing that we're going to do is the oil change.
Okay. You know, I knew oil changes were important, but I never knew why.
Well, oil is actually the lifeblood of the engine, so it's very important to change it on a regular basis.
Okay, and how does an oil change actually happen?
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check the oil level and condition, and then we're going to raise the car up and drain the oil, and then when we let it back down, we'll put the fresh oil in.
Sounds pretty simple.
Now that we've drained the oil, you saw how dirty it was.
Yeah, it was gross.
So we're going to change the oil filter.
So when I bring my car into Meineke, will you change the oil filter every time? Is that just part of it, or do I have to ask for it?
You don't have to ask for it. It's part of the service. We change it every time. So now we have the oil change completed. We got all the old oil out of the engine, the fresh oil in, you're good to go there. So next we're going to look at something that's very important that concerns your safety, and that's the brakes.
Okay. So when you look at brakes, what are you looking at?
Yeah, we're going to remove the wheels and we're going to look at the brake pads, the rotors. We're going to measure everything. Just make sure you're up to par.
Can you show me?
Sure. All right, Sarah, so basically looking at your pads and rotors, you're in good shape. I think you're going to be okay until your next visit, and we'll inspect them again for you.
How can you tell?
Well, by measuring the rotors, which we've already done, and inspecting the pads, they look like they still have some time left on them. So now we're going to check your tread depth and your tire pressure and adjust it.
All right, so how do you check the tread?
So right now he's checking the depth of your tread. New tire starts out at about 10 or 11 30 seconds of tread, and 2 30 seconds is time to replace.
Okay.
Yours have about 5 30 seconds. You're about halfway there.
Oh, all right, that's good. My dad had always said you could just stick a penny in or something about the meeting the president's head. I don't know.
You can do that. It's just not quite as accurate as a tread depth indicator.
Well, that makes sense. Okay.
So now we're going to check and adjust your tire pressure. And a lot of times, if you want to adjust it yourself, you can get that measurement off of the inside of your driver's door.
Oh, I didn't realize it was specific for each car.
Yes, don't go by the outside of the tire. That's not accurate. That's a maximum inflation, not what's proper for your car.
Wow, I didn't know that at all.
Since we're talking about tires, we're going to go ahead and do a tire rotation and adjust those pressures like we talked about. On this one, we're going to just rotate them front to rear, the normal, most basic pattern. But it's going to keep your tires wearing evenly.
A lot more to tires than I thought.
We're also going to check your wheel alignment, and that way we're going to make sure that you get the most life out of your tires. And by properly maintaining your tires, it's going to keep them lasting longer, and you're going to save money in the long run.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, Sarah, so now we got your car back down. We're going to check and adjust all of your fluids.
I've never really understood what they are or what they do. Would you mind running through that?
Sure, let's go through them one at a time.
Okay.
So first we're going to top off the windshield washer fluid. Then we're going to check your brake fluid, all right, and make sure it's full and make sure it's clean. We're going to check your power steering fluid, and we're going to make sure that that's the proper level and a good condition, that it's not dirty.
Okay.
And we're going to check your automatic transmission fluid and make sure that it's clean and make sure that it's full. And also we're going to check your coolant.
You guys check all of that here?
We're going to check it all.
Awesome.
Okay, Sarah, so we're almost finished. We have 2 filters we're going to check now, the air filter and the cabin air filter.
So the air filter does what exactly?
Well, the air filter is going to filter all of the air coming in the engine, making sure that it's clean.
Okay, right. Then the cabin air filter would filter the air coming into the cabin.
You're getting good at this. So Sarah, it looks like you do need your air filter replaced. Let's go ahead and take care of that for you.
Oh, great.
Well, Sarah, it looks like you're good to go. Thanks for coming in today.
Absolutely. You know, I'm really starting to see the whole picture here, I think. How all of the basic parts work together as a whole and why it's important to keep them all maintained so that they can keep working together as a team.
That's a good way to look at it.
Thank you so much for your help, Ryan.
Thank you.
Welcome back. I want to believe that you have learned a whole lot of things from the video that we just played you. And so you don't just take your car to the maintenance place, just drop it there and just go. You need to ask questions, just like this lady has done. And so we say welcome back once again. This will bring us into the conversation that we are here for, really. And however, I'd like to introduce the wonderful personnel who are going to be educating us on this very, very salient topic. My first speaker is Nigeria's first female auto mechanic. Fascinated by motors and engines, she was inspired by her father to pursue her dream of becoming a lady mechanic. Against many odds, she earned a degree in mechanical engineering, after which she launched her own auto repair garage. She now devotes her time passionately to the empowerment of young ladies under the Lady Mechanic Initiative. She takes them off the street and commits to their development by empowering them with relevant and profitable skills, especially in the automotive industry. Please welcome, with your virtual claps in the comment section, like we said earlier, Sandra Agwebo, who is the founder of the Lady Mechanic Initiative. Good afternoon, Sandra, and welcome to the webinar. The next speaker is the West Africa Senior Vice President for AutoCheck Africa, managing Nigeria and Ghana operations. She is a strong business operations development and strategy professional with experience in technology-driven solutions for e-commerce, online classifieds, automotive commerce, and mobility financing. Before joining AutoCheck, she held the position of Vice President Commercial at Cars 45, where she was responsible for managing the commercial operations team and served as the head of commercial operations and marketing. Prior to that, she was the head of business development and strategy at OLX, where she provided key strategic insights and initiatives geared towards growing OLX user base as the acting country manager. Please welcome with me, Dr. Mayokun Fadeyibi. Good afternoon, Dr. Mayokun, and welcome to the webinar.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. My next speaker is the founder of the Ladies on Wheels Association of Nigeria. Before starting a career as an Uber driver, she was a fashion designer and a single mother to 6 children. As her children grew more independent, she decided to go back to school and get her NCE with dreams of opening a fashion design school afterwards. But you know, destiny had different plans for her. In 2017, she decided to make a living out of her lifelong passion by becoming an Uber driver, after which she took it upon herself to create a space for women in an industry where there was none by founding the Ladies on Wheels Association of Nigeria, which is a non-profit organization focused on empowering and advocating for all app-based commercial female drivers. Please welcome Abiola Nkechi Toluwani. Good afternoon, Abiola, and welcome to this webinar.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. We're glad to have you as well. My last speaker is the Route Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps Lagos Sector Command. She has featured in several radio and television programs to discuss salient issues pertaining to safety on Nigerian roads. As an officer par excellence, she has won herself several commendations and awards, which includes Award of Excellent Service Delivery as FRSC Officer of the Year by the Lagos Traffic Radio, Most Outstanding Police and Paramilitary Awards given by JCI. She is a co-convener of the Women in Uniform event, which takes place every year to celebrate women working in different military and paramilitary formations. She is a seasoned public enlightenment and youth safety education officer with the Federal Road Safety Corps, Lagos State Command. Let's welcome Route Commander Jesu Tomipe Ololade Mala. Good afternoon, Jesu Tomipe, and welcome.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. I am sure that you are even more excited seeing the quality of speakers that we have brought to you today. And we will not be wasting any more time. We're just going to go right into the business of the day. My first question will be to you, Dr. Mayokun Fadeyibi, because we understand the fact that before you even learn anything about cars, it's either you're purchasing your own car or something like that. So we want to know, in the world today, there are several car types, several brands, and several models. What should the audience look out for when planning to purchase their cars?
Thank you so much, Ifeoluwa, and good evening to my fellow panelists, and welcome to everyone that's attending this session. This is a very exciting session for me because, like Ifeoluwa said at the intro, you find that a lot of people don't want to talk about vehicles and women. They assume that women should not be involved in the conversations when it comes to vehicles. But if you dig in and you check properly, really, when vehicle choices and decisions are being made in any home, go look behind the scenes. The woman is right there directing the operations there. So women, it's very important that we're having this conversation and that we're sitting in the front line. Now, in terms of making a decision around purchasing a vehicle, it's very important that you start from understanding what needs you're trying to meet with your car choice. Is it a car for personal use? Is it a car for your business? Is it a car for retail? What exactly are you trying to do with the vehicle? Once you start from there, in terms of understanding the need that you're trying to meet with that particular vehicle, then you start to then look at the particular types of vehicles that you're then going to be interested in. If as a young lady, you're running your business, you need to move from place to place, you need to identify the vehicle that's best to meet that need. If, for example, you're an event planner, you're a decorator, you're trying to get a vehicle that meets the needs of your business, you might be looking for a mini truck, you might be looking for a minivan. So, or you might, like the video that just showed us, a woman who is relying on her vehicle to move around from place to place for her business, and then also picking up her kids. So you might be looking for a vehicle that has 3-row seats to make sure you're able to cater for your family. So that's always the very first step. The other step would be looking at affordability. So what are the vehicle options that are available? What is your budget? One of the good things about Access Bank and the W initiative is that you can also get access to financing to purchase those vehicles. That is something that is not very common in our part of the world, but that is something that we are all actively working towards with this partnership between Access Bank and AutoCheck to make sure that we can facilitate vehicle affordability and vehicle access for everyone. So look at your affordability. What type of vehicle are you trying to, can you afford? Even from an equity perspective, not even the full amount now, because that's the beauty of financing. You identify a vehicle, you're able to identify the equity that you need to pay, the minimum down payment, and then also your monthly payments. And then the other thing to look at in terms of picking a vehicle is spare parts availability. So you've selected a vehicle, it's trying to meet a need, you've looked at the cost, then you start to look at the availability of spare parts within the country. You're picking you want to pick a vehicle that is easily repairable and you can get the spare parts easily. And then also something else that's very important is the resale value of that asset. In most cases, if you are purchasing a vehicle, you also want to be able to use a vehicle for a while, and then you can upgrade. You can decide that you want to upgrade. And one good thing would be swapping that car or trading in that car to be able to get a new one. So the resale value is also very important. But in summary, a car is a very important asset. So and a car would be with you for a long time, right? So for you, in making that choice around a vehicle, it's important that you select a vehicle, a car that you truly enjoy, while also ensuring that it is a utility asset that meets all your needs. So I hope that helps.
Thank you very much. Yes, it actually helped. And one thing I got from what you said is the fact that the need one is trying to meet will determine the type of car to purchase. So you don't just purchase the car and then you're trying to fit it into what you're trying to do, but rather you put into consideration the needs you're trying to meet. Either it's for business, it's for personal use, and so on. Thank you so much, Dr. Fadeibi. My second question will also come to you because, I mean, like I said earlier, we're looking at first you're purchasing the car before you even try to understand the basic maintenance tips and all. So what are the available car deals and offerings available at AutoCheck Africa? And are there any specific ones for women?
Okay, thank you again. I think like I alluded to in answering the earlier question, so AutoCheck Africa has a partnership with Access Bank. AutoCheck is a vehicle, it's an auto tech platform where we've created a marketplace that brings stakeholders together to facilitate auto financing. And essentially what this means is that we're able to bring together all stakeholders in the automotive ecosystem, dealers to list their vehicles on the platform, workshop partners who can maintain these vehicles, and financial partners who can finance customers to get these vehicles. So with the Access Bank and AutoCheck partnership, Access Bank customers are able to get vehicles from the AutoCheck platform from AutoCheck accredited dealers, and they can easily get these vehicles financed through Access Bank. So for every vehicle that is financed on the AutoCheck platform, the customer gets access to an annual maintenance contract. What this means is that, and remember the video that we talked about the importance of maintenance for every vehicle. If you want to preserve the life of your vehicle, it's important that it goes through that maintenance cycle. People joke and say, oh, Nigerians don't have a maintenance culture. No, it's not true. If we put that structure in place, right, you can ensure that your vehicle is serviced and your vehicle is being maintained. So an annual maintenance contract that ensures that your vehicle is serviced 4 times a year comes with that financing package. Similarly as well, your financing also includes vehicle registration on that vehicle, comprehensive insurance on that vehicle to make sure that nothing, if anything happens to your vehicle, you are protected. So these are some of the things that are included with the financing package that's offered between AutoCheck and Access Bank. Now, for women in particular, like I mentioned, one of the things that we want to encourage is women ownership of vehicles. And I know that Access Bank also offers innovative rates for women that are looking to purchase vehicles or to finance vehicles through Access Bank. So these are some of the things that women can access where and they're able to get vehicles of their choice. So for women, we want to encourage you, please speak to your account officers, walk into the bank, go to the AutoCheck website, apply for your loan so that you can get the special interest rates that are facilitated for that are specially selected for you. I know Jacob can talk a bit more about that as we drive to ensure that more and more women get access to their vehicles.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Very well said. And I want to believe everyone has heard the different options and offerings that are available to you. So if you're trying to purchase your car, please ensure that you reach out to Access Bank and AutoCheck for the purchase. Now, my next question would be to you, Miss Sandra Agwebo. Based on your experience, what are the basic maintenance management tips and common signals that women need to be conversant with when handling their cars, be it daily, monthly, quarterly, and on a yearly basis?
Thank you very much for having me here. Wonderful program. This is long overdue for women, Nigerian women, to know about vehicles, to know the importance of vehicle, why is it necessary for them, not just driving the car, but knowing fully well how it runs, how the engine moves, and all that applies to the vehicle. Long time ago, I've always said to myself, like, you know, Nigerian women, we are strong women. Women are strong, and we multitask. We can do a whole lot of things at the same time: cooking, taking children to school, feeding, breastfeeding, different kind of thing. Women, we are strong women. And I know that with this, that W Women of Access Bank has brought together to empower Nigerian women with, is going to go a long way. And, you know, it's a very great idea and a welcome development. I don't want to go too deep, but, you know, maintenance culture for the vehicles, like when you buy a car, like what AutoCheck has been talking about, women, they see vehicle like magic. A whole lot of them, we see G-Wagon, see Range Rover on the road, they're like, wow, this machine, Father Lord, who made this? Or is it built or something? They look at it, but there's no big deal about it, you know? Being a female mechanic, I've come to stay like, you know what? Every woman will go through this sometime, someday, except you don't like to drive a car. As long as you have your own car, you cannot expect only your husband, you know, to be the one in charge of vehicles in the house. As long as you drive, you should know the maintenance culture. You should know what to check in the morning. When you have flat tires on the highway, what are you supposed to do? What are the numbers of the bolt or the wheel spanner you are supposed to use? You have a toolbox in your boot, or where do you have it, or in your wallet? Do you have a spanner or a screwdriver in your wallet? You should have some in your handbag, and with your powder, your face powder as well, because it's a necessity, you know. So for you to know all this maintenance culture about the vehicle that you need to know in the morning, when you wake up in the morning, it's just the way we take care of our babies. You have a baby, you carry your baby, you want to see if the fingernails are grown, you want to see if he has scratch on the leg, like that. What you need to do, check your tire, the pressure of your tire, you check your engine oil, you check your water level. Some vehicles, I don't know the kind of cars that you might have that you are using now. We have different brands and, you know, different maintenance culture as well. You might have the vehicle that will need you to have to top the water weekly, the radiator water, but it's not that it's leaking, but depending on the condition of the engine as well. Some vehicle, you don't need to even touch the radiator for up to a year, is intact, you know. So it depends on the area, part of Nigeria you live and all that. But if you live in Lagos, where we have traffic. In Lagos, if you don't find traffic, you are even scared that there's no traffic. What's going on at the other end? But when you live in Lagos, you should be able to check your water level. If it's a brand new car, you don't really have that tendency to check, but always check your, you know, the clock stars to be able to see if your temperature gauge is going up or is normal and all that. So you have to also check around your vehicle to make sure the car paint is intact, still very beautiful, attract. So, you know, since these vehicles are going to be used for Uber purposes, you have to also check to make sure that the car paints, they are looking fantastic, no scratch and all that. Basically, women, they need to know that vehicles are not meant to be scared of. When you have a car and maybe you have purchased from AutoCheck, you want to go on the road, maybe for Uber purposes, what are the things you need to see in the car that might scare you, that your mechanic would never say to you? Only lady mechanic can only tell you those secrets, you know? And those things should just be, you're driving, you can find your cluster, maybe some check lights coming up on the dashboard and all that. A lot of women, they get very scared when the light is popping up and they're like parking the vehicles by the roadside and calling their mechanic, this light is coming up and all that. You don't need to be afraid. At this point in time, women are supposed to have their little diagnostics machine. It's very handy, it's like your telephone. You can have them in your handbag, so that when you find these kind of problems on the highway, as you drive along, you can just check what is wrong. And that will give you some peace of mind until you get to the next dealer or the next mechanic shop. Brakes is very important, that you know that it's very important that your car should have brakes. Very, very important, because that can be a disaster if you don't, check on that. Your brake fluid level is very important. You ought to also check your power steering level, the fluid level. And of course, when you have some hesitation in your transmission, the lights will also come up on the dashboard to give you sign. There's nothing in the vehicle that will never give you sign before it goes bad or before, pack you off the road. Everything will definitely give you one sign or the other at a particular point in time. So I think with this, you should be able to be the best driver on the road. I see a lot of women in Lagos Road, even, daring the guys, zooming off, defensive maintenance, driving, defensive driving and all that. So when you see them driving, I'm like, I say to myself, do you know what? Women can actually do better on Lagos Road, because the way they take off and the men will be shouting, you just let, well, why are you driving like that? But then they are good drivers on the road because they are very calculative, and it takes a daring woman to be able to say, you know what, let me be an Uber driver, and I go back home and I see my children at home and I'm contributing through my Uber business, to be home, bringing food to the table. And this is what W Women is talking about here. Bringing women into this, you make money, you take a vehicle from AutoCheck, and you have to also pay back so that other people can also be part of this opportunity. And I think this is a welcome idea for us at the Lady Mechanic. Women that will be involved in this, please call on me. I should be able to do some free service work for you. Ask me questions. I will be able to answer you. I'll be able to send you tips that you should know about. If I was going to be part of this, to purchase a car from W Women, you know what I'll do to make my business more interesting to the public? I'll paint my car red hot. And I'm going to put a car number, I'll put my number, hot number on the side of my car. I'm going to have some kind of, gadgets, like pimp my car to make it very different and attractive. So that, passengers coming from Abuja or coming from Port Harcourt into Lagos, and they're like calling me, hello, Sandra, are you available? I should be at the Lagos airport by 2 p.m. Can you pick me up? Of course. I'm just more than an Uber driver. You understand? My car, my uniform, when I come out, people are like looking at me. It's so attractive that I'm making money, I'm paying W Women banking off, and I'm getting more cars, I'm bringing more women into it. Women, let's think outside the box. We are too strong. We can do better, and this is what I stand here to say today. And you know what? If you go into this and pick up this car, please make sure payments you pay back to, give opportunities to more women to come into this. Because when I saw myself years ago, I've been a female mechanic for more than 3 decades, more than 30 years. And I said to myself, you know what? I can't be here alone. And that is why I took it out to women that you can be better than me. You come join me and you have to. This is a sustainable thing. Except your head is being removed, that's when you don't think about it. As long as manufacturers, they continue to produce cars year in, year out, their business for AutoCheck, their business for Lady Mechanic, their business for Uber drivers, there's business for everybody. So when going into this, just like AutoCheck said, also think about the manufacturer specification of your own vehicle. What kind of car? Are you taking Toyota? Are you taking Nissan? Are you taking which car? That have that durability to be able to stand, what the traffic means in Lagos State. Because at times you can be in traffic for 3 hours, 4 hours, but depending on where you are heading to. So it's very important. And of course, after sales, if you are no longer interested in your car, you want to, swap or trade in, or you want to have another, what do you do? If you don't have that brand of vehicle that's, require people to look at, to be able to buy it off you very fast with good amount of money. So that can be an issue as well. So that also tends to how the kind of spare parts you need for your vehicle and all that, how to purchase, all these come into one package. You can come and, talk to the lady mechanic when that time comes. Women that will be interested in purchasing these cars through W Women, you can reach out to us. We'll be just too helpful to talk to.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. That was beautifully said. And I picked up something. She said she can offer you free services. And as women, we know we all love the freebies. So thank you so much, Sandra. And two things I picked up from what you said. You said the car is like a baby. So when you pick your baby up in the morning, you're looking at them, you're trying to take care of them. Those are the kind of things you need to look out for in your car as well. And she also mentioned something about a diagnostic machine. Permit me to say that would be like your thermometer that you use to check the temperature of your baby at home, just so that you know that something is wrong if the temperature starts to go up and so on and so forth. So thank you very much. That was beautifully said. My next question is going to go to the route commander, Jesutomipe Ololade. So once you have learned the basics of maintaining your car, you need to now understand how to go about your driving. So my question will be that while driving, what are the safety measures, road signals, and common offenses that the audience should know about while they are driving their cars? So you can also help us give insight on safe following, distance, speed management, and defensive driving. Please go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Access Bank, the W Initiative. Okay, the Federal Road Safety Corps is the lead agency in traffic management, and we are saddled with the responsibility of ensuring a safe motoring environment. And then while doing this, every road user counts. Be it a man, a woman, a child, a boy, a girl, every road user counts. So the safety measures, let me just go quickly into the safety measures. Every morning before you leave your house, please carry out the morning drills. I'm glad the lady mechanic has said something about that, and also the AutoCheck woman. With FRSC, we call it WAFTs. We have the W, the O, the F, and the T. That says you check your water. Check the water level of your vehicle every morning. You check the oil of the vehicle, you check your fuel, you check your fan belt, and of course your tire, which is very, very important. And why I'm going to pick on the tire is because if you need to inflate the tire, you are not, you're supposed to do it in the morning or before you cover like 20 meters or 20 kilometers, so you have to do it quite early so you can get the original or you can get the real, PSI, that is the pressure that is meant to be in the vehicle. So your waft is very, very important. You check your water, you check your oil, you check your fuel, and of course, you check your tire. And then another thing that is important before you leave the house, before you start that vehicle, make sure you put on your seatbelt. Many a time, I know women, we really don't like putting on our seatbelts, like, no, I don't feel comfortable, this, that. But, it's very, very important. Your seat belt is extremely important. I've heard situations where people get apprehended by the Federal Road Safety Corps and they say, I'm pregnant. That's why I don't have my belt on. Ma'am, when a road traffic crash is going to occur, it doesn't know a pregnant woman. It doesn't know anybody. It can happen to anybody. And then your seat belt has a particular responsibility. It's not there for fashion. It's just there to protect you in case of any crash. So before you move that vehicle, I understand that there are vehicles we have now that if you don't have your seatbelt on and there is a crash, the airbags will not, they wouldn't come out. And then there are some vehicles that if you don't even use your seatbelt, it won't even start. So that is very, very important. And then before you move out of your house in the morning, before you drive that car, ensure your lightning systems are on point. You know, we recently apprehended a lot of people for lifetime violation that we call, you know, brake lights. And then some people will tell you common brake lights. And is that why you are arresting me? Oh, the common brake lights have sent a lot of people to heaven or hell. You know, if your brake light is not working and then the vehicle behind you is coming, it cannot even predict you. It doesn't know the next action you're taking. For example, you know, we have our vehicle indicators. We all know it as trafficators, but there is nothing like a trafficator. It's actually an indicator or a signal light. And then you also have the, you know, when you now have your double trafficator, as you all know, but it's called the hazard light. If you put on your hazard light for something, and eventually one of it is off, you assume both lights are on, then you're actually telling the person behind you, okay, my vehicle has an issue. Now, when one is off, you have succeeded in confusing the vehicle behind you. Possibly if the right one is off, the person would assume you're going to the left. So all those things are very, very important. So let me quickly talk about our road signals. The road signals are very, very important. You know, the provide valuable information to drivers and road users. You know, when I say drivers and road users, we have different categories of road users. You know, we have the drivers, you have the motorists, you have the tricyclists, you have the pedestrians, even animals are road users. Yeah, they make use of the road also. So the traffic lights, the traffic signals you see there, they represent rules that are in place to keep you safe and help to communicate. You know, if you go all over the world, the traffic signals are the same. Because before somebody would write, don't go to the right. If you're in China and they write it in Chinese, you might not be able to understand. If you're in Japan and it's written in Japanese, you might not be able to understand. And that is why we have different signs, you know, to actually help us. I'm going to put us through this. You know, it's not easy to teach road signals without, you know, visuals, but I'll still talk more about this. So in that case, when you talk about the signals, we have three major types. We have the regulatory signs. I know a lot of us don't know, it's just different signals and you think everything is just there. They have their responsibility. Each of them has what they're doing there. You know, we have the regulatory signs, and the regulatory signs are simple. They are the do it and don't do it signs. It says you should do it or you don't do it. And under the regulatory, we have the prohibitory signs and then the mandatory signs. The prohibitory signs are the don't do it. They are circular and red in color. When you see something like this, this means trucks are not allowed. So don't do it. Trucks do not pass. This is a prohibitory sign that it's a no. And of course, we have mandatory signs that says do it. When you have something like this, it comes in blue color. It says do it. That is, you can only turn to your left, then you cannot turn to your right. So the signs are very, very important and we have to understand them. We also have warning signs. You know, they are triangle in shape, always red color. And the warning signs are the most dangerous signs that we have. You know, I'm going to give an example. When you say traffic lights, this is the warning sign, you know, where everybody knows what the traffic lights is. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, especially in Lagos, it seems the colors mean different things to different people. You know, when they see red, and that is when somebody is attempting to go. Because the person will look to the left, there is no last mile. You look to the right, road safety is not there. You look forward, VIO is not there, and you look back, oh, no police dead. Let me quickly go. Ma'am, you forgot to look up because God is watching you. So it's important that you obey all those things. You know, I said they are the most dangerous signs. When you have something like this and it says there is a sharp bend, this is extremely dangerous. You know, things like this can actually cause a crash because you're actually moving at a particular speed. And then the warning sign is telling you there is a sharp bend and it is expected of you to reduce your speed because there is a sharp bend ahead. And then if you fail to reduce your speed and then you run into a sharp bend, then that's actually sitting on the gunpowder ready to explode. And then we have a lot of offenses, and then women, we are really guilty of a lot of offenses. I'll start from the seatbelt. Like I said, you know, because I'm pregnant, I don't want to use my seatbelt. Please make sure you put on your seatbelt. It is a safety gadget. It is in that vehicle for you. It is not for fashion. And also we have a lot of people who use a phone while driving. You know, a lot of people have come up with stuff like, oh, can I use my Bluetooth? Whatever tooth you are using, even if it's a red tooth or a purple tooth or a white tooth, use our phone while driving is called distracted driving. Whatever would take your concentration away from the road, please stay away from it. You know, we say driving requires 100% concentration. 99.9% is not enough. It could be that 1% that can give you a problem. Just a few seconds, you want to check who is calling me. And then you look up. Any driver could have driven anyhow. A little child could have run in front of the car. The crash doesn't take hours to occur. It doesn't take minutes. It's only in movies that it's like, okay, a vehicle is about to have a crash and then you can calculate. But when it happens real time, this thing happens in the, in seconds. The twinkle of an eye, everything goes off. So the few seconds you're using to check who is calling me, or you're trying to check your bag to look for the phone, to bring out the phone and check who is calling you, then you are looking for trouble. And those are offenses. We as FRSC, many a time people will be wondering, but I wasn't using my phone. You did not see me. We have seen you from a distance. We have seen you hold your phone. Some would say, I'm not texting, I'm using Bluetooth, but you picked the phone. You have distracted yourself because you're already a danger to another person. Then we also have child sitting position. Those are common offenses, and women are really guilty of this. If you love that child, if you love that boy, you love that girl, if your child is not up to the age of 12, he or she is not meant to sit in front. Keep them at the back. Make sure they are well strapped. If you have a baby, please make use of a car seat. I've had cases of people say, my baby likes to sit in front. Then you are putting the child in danger. We have airbags in a vehicle whereby when a crash occurs, the airbags are supposed to explode and protect the passenger. But if a child is too young, instead of protecting the child, it will suffocate the child and it will bring more danger. You remember that airbags are like leather components and it has hair in it. And then it's a kind of from hitting your head on the side, on the mirror, on the side screen or what have you. But if a child is there, it could suffocate that child. We have number plate violation, we have wrongful overtaking, and a lot more. So let me quickly say something about the safe following distance. We have different rules to safe following distance, but I personally, I'll just tell you, use a common sense distance. A reasonable distance whereby if the vehicle in front of you is trying to maneuver or is trying to make a funny, is trying to make a wrong decision, that you're driving behind him, you can make the right decision and protect yourself. But in Lagos, unfortunately, it is not like that. At many a time, everybody moves bumper to bumper because you don't want anybody to come in front of you. That's quite disturbing anyways. Many a time I leave this narrow, I'm like, okay, if this vehicle wants to make a decision and then I need to just maneuver, what space do I have? It is very, very important. So the common sense distance is the best distance. And of course, defensive driving technique. Defensive driving technique is everything about driving. And it simply means driving to save life, time, and property. That is all it means. And that is in your hands. Everybody has the part to play. Safety is a shared responsibility. And then if you don't adopt the defensive driving technique, it's a problem. And the rule number 1 says, assume every road user is mad. As odd as it sounds, but that is it. Because if you see everybody, okay, there is a madman coming from my right hand, madman is coming from my left, right, madman is coming from my front. Definitely, you don't want to move close to the madman. You want to make a decision whereby the madman, wouldn't do anything to hurt you. So it is important that you assume every road user is mad. So you are driving to make sure that you get to your own destination safely. And also when driving, don't drive to claim your rights. Drive to claim your life. That is very important. You don't drive to claim your rights. You drive to claim your life. Because when we get to a crash scene, FRSC, the first thing we would say is not who is right. We would ask who is left, who is remaining, who is not dead, who are the people we are taking to the hospital, and that is what happens. So don't drive to claim your rights, drive to claim your life, and that's very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Route Commander Mala. And you have started to shake tables, and I'm sure that a whole lot of people are starting to think that they might have to go back to their training schools because all these signs that you've been talking about, a whole lot of people do not know about it. And these are the important discussions that we need to have. And that is one of the reasons why the W Initiative has put together this webinar for our women. Let me reiterate at this point that this session is actually for everyone. If you're an individual who has a car, who is planning to get a car, who wants to drive, or you're a commercial driver or whatever, this session is for you. Now, you can see the different kinds of people that we have on the session today speaking to you. And that's because we see that it has different approaches, and it is not just enough for you to own a car. You need to understand the rules that are guiding the car. You also need to know about commercializing if that is what you want to do with the car. And this is why we have people from Defense Fairs speaking to us on this webinar today. And I'm sure a lot of us are learning quite many things in the session today. So please continue to stay with us. Don't go anywhere. Thank you once again, Route Commander Mala. My next question is also to you. We want to know what are the basic things that road users should have in their cars for safety purposes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can. Thank you. Okay, there are a lot of things every road user should have in their vehicle. Let me just speak from here. You should have a functional fire extinguisher. That is very, very important. You know, we've had situations where people say, I don't need it. My car is not burning. If you think your vehicle is not burning, the vehicle in front of you that is burning, if you don't help that vehicle, is coming back to you. So everybody should have a functional, I didn't just say fire extinguisher. Make sure you have a functional one. If it has expired, it costs you nothing to change it. You know, for cars, you're meant to have 1 unit of 1 kg of a fire extinguisher. If it's a taxi, you also need 1 unit of 1 kg. If it's a medium bus, you need 2 units of 1 kg. If you're driving a luxurious bus, you need 2 units of 6 kg. And of course, if it's an articulated vehicle, you need 2 units of 9 kg. Your fire extinguisher is extremely important. And number 2, you should have a spare inflated tire, not just a spare tire. An inflated spare tire, you know, because of our job, like sometimes you stop some vehicles and they're like, I have the spare tire, I have the spare tire. By the time you bring out the spare tire, you'll be dazed because the spare tire wouldn't have any air in it. So what's the point of having an uninflated spare tire? Is as good as not having, because if there is an emergency, then what are you going to do? Who's going to help you? So always have an inflated spare tire. And then your C caution or your warning triangle is very, very important. Just in case of emergency, your vehicle has broken down, at least at like 60 meters, you need to place the C caution or the triangle, you know, to inform the people coming that my vehicle has an issue, you know, because many a time we have cases of lone crashes that people run into, you know, static vehicles, not knowing that the vehicle is not moving, and you know, a lot of terrible things have happened as a result of that. And then I also advise people to have their first aid bag. Like I'm a seasoned first responder. I have been trained by the American Heart Association. You know, I have a lot of passion when it comes to being a first responder, because many a time what we see is when a crash happens, people get there and they don't know what to do. And then you see people taking pictures, they make videos, they want to be the first person to, you know, to post it. And the people there really need help. They need somebody to help them. And then you get there, you don't know what to do. There are times whereby just that scissors, just that blade is all the victim needs. Possibly there is a crash and then somebody is stuck in the vehicle. Of course, the seatbelt might not be able to come out any longer. And then you want to pull this person out. All you might need is just a scissors to cut the seatbelt and bring this person out. And it's possible the vehicle might catch fire afterwards. And then if you don't have your first aid bag and then somebody needs help, it might not just be for yourself, it might be for someone else, because if everybody now choose to have their first aid bags, you know, then help will be everywhere. So let me just say this, that everybody should be a first responder, at least have the basics of being a first responder, know what to do when there's a crash. You know, sometimes we have parts of our body, if you bleed from your vein, you can lose the entire blood in your body in few seconds or in few minutes. So all those things are very, very important. Then have your jack and your wheel spanner. I know the lady mechanic has mentioned it. Always have water in your vehicle. Something funny happened at Sunderland a few weeks ago. Somebody's vehicle, I think it was overheating and there was no water. And it was on Sunderland Bridge. Oh my, see water down there. And he couldn't even access the water. And, somebody threw a bottle of water. I was like, oh dear, I picked another bottle of water from my vehicle. I threw it to the guy and different people were throwing water to him. And it was like, oh Lord, thank you. Like I was looking at the mirror to check his, at least the water people were throwing for him helped him. So always have a bottle of water, have your hydraulic, have your touch lights, all those things are optional though. The touch light, but it's good to have it. Have your reflective vest when you want to change your tire at night so that it can be visible and people can see you. So many things to have in your vehicle, especially safety. Yeah.
Great, thank you so much. That was beautifully said, and I'm taking notes, and I am liking what I am hearing. Okay, so let me say that I'm sure that a lot of people have questions and questions for the speakers. So please ensure that you drop your questions in the Q&A section. And also a lot of links are going to be dropped in the comment section, links to follow us on our social media platforms. We are on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter at the W Community, and a whole lot of links. So please look out for those links and ensure that you are clicking on them. Now we have touched on different segments, and the main aim of the W initiative is to inspire, to connect and empower women. So today we have brought you the founder of Lady on Wheels, and this is to show you that there's a possibility of commercializing your driving skills. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this session, driving has gone beyond just the luxury. It has become a survivor skill. And in the course of trying to survive, you can also make money from this skill that you have learned. So my first question to you, Mrs. Nkechi Abiola, is what is the Ladies on Wheels Association about, and how are you supporting women in this association?
Okay, thank you very much, Ifeoluwa. Thank you so much. In fact, I've been here, I'm having fun. So much information. Thank you so much. Sandra, what you said, I'm going to pass the information to my ladies. You're going to be hearing from us. Thank you. It's been so informative. I am so enjoying myself. So going to your question, Ifeoluwa, you asked what Ladies on Wheel is all about. Okay, fine. Ladies on Wheel is a non-profit, a non-political organization, which our interest is to empower ladies. Our interest is to see ladies that are drivers, female drivers. Our interest is to gather them together and ensure they are empowered in different areas. Remember, women, these particular women in this field, they are there for one reason or the other. We know the field is men dominated, but we are in that field because we feel as women we should be given equal rights, and we know that we have something within us that can fetch us money. So we see the need to make use of the potentials that we have. So LOAN is just an organization of female commercial drivers, an association of female commercial drivers. We are together with the aim of empowering women. We have so many reasons why we are together. We want to see, where women, the welfare of where women are, the unemployment rate is high. So we want a situation whereby a woman that knows how to drive will not be limited. She will have something to do, because there's no job out there, because there's no money to start a business, but the skill of driving is there. So we are here to make sure we, make it known to people out there that you can actually make money driving. So the association is not just only for driving sake. It's not just because you want to drive. You understand? it is also there for us to help to eradicate the unemployment rate in the country. So LOAN is an association that has come, the Ladies on Wheel Association of Nigeria, is an association that has come to bring all these women together and encourage them. Let them have somebody, a body that is there that will stand and speak for them, that to advocate for them. It is an association that has come to connect the female drivers, commercial drivers, either in the e-hailing platform, any app-based transportation, and just transport in general, to connect them to the government for loans, to connect them to establishments like the W community, to connect them for loans, for grants, And apart from that, there are other things we need. There are other things that we need. We need to make, when you are in a community, you don't feel alone. You feel there are some people that have got your back. And that is what LOAN is there for. We've got the back of all female drivers. We want them to run to us and we advocate for them. We speak for them. We want them to run to us and we help them. We connect them with establishments, with the government to help in areas that are required. And apart from that, the issue of unemployment. So many times we see young ladies, we see them out there on the streets. You ask them, they will say there's no job, there's no this, there's no money. And because of that, they resort to selling their body. They want to sell themselves. They want to make money through, selling their body. And, we made them to understand that, look, you don't need to do that. If you're complaining that there's no job out there, you can learn how to drive. Now, coming to learning how to drive, that was why when I first came in contact with the W community, I was so amazed when I saw what they were doing. They were actually training females to drive. They were training them. And I remember telling one of them, I said, look, Ladies on Wheel have a plan like this for the females. We want to be part of it. We want to train more ladies. We want them to know that through driving, they can actually meet, their end meet, whatever it is they need money for. They can meet it. Then when you look at the area of driving, women are home builders. They have their children, they have the husband to take care of, they have different responsibilities. When you drive as a woman, you have flexible time. You control your own time. From school runs, you do school runs, you go to drop the children at school, you drop other children that lives within your neighborhood, you drop them and you make money from there. You understand? From doing that, to other activities that you need to do, you have the control of your own time. You know when to do this, you know when to do that. When it's time to go and pick the kids from the school, wherever you are, you drive back home and you go and do what you need to do. So there's flexibility of time. It gives you time as a mother to be able to take care of everything around you. You are not under duress, you are not under compulsion to work for a certain time because you have your time with you. You control your own time. So the question, I hope I've been able to answer you, to tell you what LOAN is all about. It is a community of female commercial drivers. You said something that what have we been able to or what did you say, that what are we doing to help these ladies? What are we doing? There are so many things.
Yes, we're asking how you support women.
Okay, how we support women. There are so many ways. We support them in the area of finance. We try our best to connect our ladies to banks like Access Bank and some other banks that have been there for us. We connect them. We stand as intermediary for them to get loans, car loans. And thank God for the W Community Initiative. Thank God for it. It is a welcome development. I'm going to especially come and meet with those in charge so that we'll talk and know how we can bring in low one, because we have so many. One of our challenges is cars. We have so many women out there that need car, and like I said, we're going to talk about that when I come in person. And apart from that, with training of these ladies, thank God for all our sisters. Just as Sister Mala, she has said a lot. We support these ladies by exposing them to training. They need to know about safety on the road. They need to know. Thank God for the lady mechanic. It's an avenue for them to learn about the cars they drive, so that they'll be able to take care of some minor things. It's not everything you'll be running to the mechanic. So thank God. So we expose them to trainings like this. The other day we were at the MOT, the Ministry of Transportation, and they were like, yes, they will organize training for us so that in the line of our business we'll be vast, we'll be able to do a lot. So there are so many opportunities when we are there for the women. So each time they come, they need our support. We do all we can to connect them or to take care of them. But that doesn't mean we still need support from the NGOs, from the government, from public organizations. We as an association, we still need support so that we'll be able to attend to the needs of our ladies.
Thank you very much, Ma. Very, very commendable thing you're doing for these women. And that is what we are about at the W Initiative as well. We look at every opportunity we need to inspire, to connect and empower women. And we thank you so much for what you're doing for these women. My next question would also go to you. You have said a lot about the benefits of commercializing the skill of driving. We just wanted to know how women can tap into this opportunity.
Okay, it is very simple. For you to be a member of LOAN, the Ladies on Wheel Association of Nigeria, first and foremost, you should be able, you are a good driver. When I say you are a driver, that means you are a licensed driver. You have your driver's license. Now, I'm not saying we don't welcome ladies that don't drive. We do welcome them, because that's where the empowerment comes from. We take you through the process, the training, we advise you where we can, and we direct you to the right place. And thank God, like I said, for the W Initiative, we now have an avenue that we can direct our ladies to, that for you to be able to be a part of Ladies on Wheel, you have to sign up with the W Initiative, the Ladies Let's Drive, where you will learn how to drive, because we have competent instructors that will teach you how to drive and make sure you have all your documents. So for you to be a part of Ladies on Wheel, you must be a very good driver. You must be a very good driver with your driver license, and you must, you must have passion for driving. Driving is not just about driving. You must be passionate about it. You must love driving. So if you love driving, you will make it. You will excel in this area of driving. So it's very simple. Just get in touch with us, register with us, and you'll be a member of Ladies on Wheel. And you'll be a part of the community. We have a WhatsApp community. We have a Telegram group where we gather together to encourage ourselves, to pass information. We give information, every necessary tips, information that comes our way that will benefit us as female drivers. We pass it on the platform. So you are not alone. You will not feel intimidated by the road users, or let's say the men that are into this commercial business, because we, the Ladies on Wheel, we've got your back. We are there to hear you, to encourage you, and to push you. And the aim, the purpose of this is for us to be able to provide, to put food on our table, to assist our husbands, to train our children, to assist, to make money. That is the essence of you driving. So we are just here. We are not far away from you. If you can't get to us through the organizers of this great program, the W community, you can always reach us on Ladies on Wheel. I don't know if I've done justice to that.
Yes, thank you very much. We appreciate that. So my next question, right, in the spirit of talking about commercializing the driving skills. My next question will go to you, Sandra. So because you are the convener of the Lady Mechanic Initiative, you're obviously an entrepreneur. We just wanted to know what motivated you to start this business and how you were able to break into the market, considering the fact that this is a male-dominated segment. Hello, Sandra, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Interesting. Everybody wants to know how I became a lady mechanic. Long story, but I'm going to be very, short about it. I'm going to be very short about it. Being the first lady mechanic in Nigeria was never a bed of roses. It was a difficult task for me when I started, like in the 80s, going to learn how to fix cars in the workshop. It was a dream become a reality for me that today you can see a lot of people are saying, oh, wonderful thing you are doing. But when I started in the 80s, it was a big taboo. In the sense that a lot of people were like, is she not? Is she going mad? Is she all right? Does she need to see a doctor? Maybe she needs to be checked. Why would she be in the garage? You know, she wants to learn. Because then there was nobody out there doing what I was doing. But you know, it was ordained that this is what I needed to do for the rest of my life. And that's where I found myself, and I'm still there today. For how long now I'm still there. Now, you know, started the Lady Mechanic Initiative. Now the trainees of the Lady Mechanic Initiative, they are now becoming the trainers. And from there, automatically, they will now become members of the Lady Mechanic Association of Nigeria, which I'm also the president, you know. As they graduate from the initiative, they fall into the association, Lady Mechanic Association of Nigeria. Being a mechanic to other women was like, you know, Sandra, can we do this alongside with you? I said, just watch me. As you fix cars come into your garage, they have problems that you can solve, rectify, and the customer become happy with your job. They take the car, travel with them, come back again, and they are satisfied. You start having a lot of clients in your workshop. It is not difficult. It has to do with a lot of perseverance. It has to do with a lot of, you know, confidence. It has to do with a whole lot of things comes into place. There, you know, a lot of people will come out there to humiliate you, to like intimidate you. But if you are that kind of woman that will have to run back home and start crying, your name is sorry. You don't have to do that. They said it's male-dominated profession. I don't really believe that mechanics are meant for only the men, you know, to know how to fix cars. Women, we can do seriously better because we pay attention to little details. With due respect to my colleagues out there, Sandra is also the vice president of the Nigeria Skills Sector Council. And it means that the Lady Mechanic Initiative can actually train anywhere in the country, be it Sokoto, Yola, Gombe, Bauchi, we can go anywhere and train. And not only that, because of what we already are doing, we now have members of the association close to 2,000 since I initiated the Lady Mechanic Initiative. Since I founded the initiative in 2004, by next year, the initiative will be 20 years old, and it's going to be a big, thing for us by next year when we are celebrating this, bringing all the women together across the country. I would like to also say here that a lot of them, they now have their own workshop in different states. They are now my partners as well. So for me, when at times we're having a retreat, I see them coming, girls that literally we just, see on the street. Some of them actually stop some of them by going on street storming. you know, seeing them selling orange or maybe selling granite, I'll tell them, you know what, the sun that is hitting you, this kind of sun will not hit you inside the garage. You can do better and you make more money. And that's about sustainability for your livelihood. So with this you are doing, you are prone to a lot of, you know, social vices in the motor park with men, though that is also in the workshop. But when you become confident and you know what you're doing, you can fix cars, you can make, you know, make some money, you gain respect for your own self. And, you know, your community will, you know, look at you to see that a lot of these things you are doing, they're emulating you, they want to be like you. From there, you start getting a lot of people being interested in what you are doing. What I do today is not magic. I like to brand myself. I started the branding of uniform in Nigeria. I'll say that today. Because why? When I'm going out there, I want to write all my name across everything I'm wearing. I want to be able to, you know, come out and another lady there looking at me. Come on, what are you doing? If I say I'm a mechanic, whoa, look at your shoes, look at what you are wearing. They want to be, they are dreaming about it. So if I'm able to now, you know, kind of convince you, do you know what? You can just fix a car. Join me. You're a beautiful woman. Being beautiful, you're a mechanic, you know your package, you can fix a car, you are confident, you can persevere, you can make a whole lot of things turn around for you. There's no woman born to be poor. We all have brains. I think women can even multitask a whole lot to be able to do more for themselves. I think today women should start thinking outside the box to think more about the things they can do to empower themselves. Bringing this opportunity to the table for them from W Women is not just enough for them to, you know, grab, but they should also bring their own to the table for them to be able to make it a big opportunity for themselves and, you know, for their own community, you know, for them to be able to say, you know what, since we have this, I am the person you should look up to. If I'm able to pay my money back for this vehicle I'm taking from W Women, a whole lot of things will start happening in the community. Before you know, you are God is good of your community. You have more than 5 vehicles. So women should stop thinking that they are just at the back seat. You are not at the back seat. It depends on the way you take it, the way you think. Your mindset is very, very important. So to this, being a lady mechanic, explaining to you how I started, break the yoke, you have to know what the men know in the garage. That is the basic secret. Because there's no one man born, one mechanic, a man mechanic that can even, you know, drop one engine with his head or carry it on his head. No. The engine has different segments. We have the, you know, when you want to drop the engine, you have to lose the components, what is holding the engine to the chassis and all the beams of the car. Once you finish that, you cannot use your hand to just drop the engine. Gone are the days when it was, you know, really hard work to do this. When it was really hard work, you have to also remove it stage by stage by removing the valve cover, the top cylinder, the crankcase, then go to the, you know, sump where you have the engine oil. But right now, we have a whole lot of machines that after losing, you can just jack it out and put it on the table before you dismantle. So women can actually do this. If a woman can be pregnant for 9 months, she can do more than enough.
She cannot do. Wow, beautiful.
So women, you are strong. If you want to know more, register with the Lady Mechanic through W Women.
Thank you very much. That was beautifully
and you
said.
can just be that lady. You know what? A lot of women out there, they just say, oh, I just finished school, I'm looking for a job. Why are you looking for a job? Your certificate, if you are going for white-collar job, let's say white-collar job, banking and all that, even as a banker, you still need to know about your car. If you don't know about your car, my colleagues, some of my colleagues, you can just be their, you know, their ATM card if you don't know. But if you know, you are able to know about your vehicle and you go to the garage, you should be able to tell them, you know what, is my brake I want you to fix. My brake is not perfect. Do this for me. they respect you and they ask you, Madam, did you know? Because they look at women talking about vehicle like magic. But when you know what you are doing, it goes a whole long way. So women, please jump out of your bed, go out there and do what you can do best to make sure that this program that W Women Access is bringing to your table, make sure it works and take opportunity. I'm going to tap into it in my constituency in Edo State. I'm from Benin City, Edo State. Edo women, we don't carry last in everything. In Nigeria, we always do it first. So I know a lot of people say Edo woman, yes. So I'm going to also take this news to Edo State, my constituency in Oriomo and Wode, federal constituency, for women to dive into it so that I can champion it for them, so that we can be the first wearing those hot color, red, yellow cab with hot number on it. Everything we are putting in Edo State.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
so
very
being
much.
a female mechanic is very easy. You want to know more? Come to me, register with us, talk to me. I'll be able to.
They definitely will. Thank you so much. And she has said it all. Women, you are not in the background. Make sure that you are doing everything to make your lives easy. And these are the things that you can do. Thank you so much, Sandra, for that. Before I go to my last question, I'd like you to click on the subscription button you can see below your screen and make sure that you are one of the first people to see the different events and offerings that the W Initiative has for you. So you might want to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can be the first to get first-hand information on everything that we are doing for women. My last question is to you, Route Commander Mala. So we understand all the things that you have said to us, and we just quickly wanted to chip in what are the process of getting the driver's license and what are the measures that FRSC is putting in place to make the process seamless. So we understand that when you learned how to drive, you need to get your driver's license before you are able to put your car out there. So please just briefly tell us the process of getting a driver's license and the measures that FRSC is putting in place to make this process seamless. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for having me once again. Okay, the driver's license, we need to all know, is the only legal document that permits anyone to be on the road. That is the only legal document that permits you to be on the road. So if you don't have your license and you've been driving, you are driving illegally. And if FRSC should catch you, I'll personally come for you. Okay, that's on the license mode. So if you want to get your driver's license, you cannot get a license by proxy. The first thing you have to do is to go to an accredited driving school by the Federal Road Safety Corps. You can go to our website, www.frsc.gov.ng. I'll take that again, www.frsc.gov, that is gov.ng. You can check the list of accredited driving schools. Then you can pick the one closest to where you are. So you go to the driving school and it is expected that you'll be in the driving school for 26 days. 26 days in driving school, you can actually alternate it, like depending on the time you have. It could be 2 hours in a day, it could be 30 minutes in every 2 days. It depends on your timing, but you have to be there for 26 days. So you can learn all the necessary things. Your mechanic will not teach you the road signs. Your mechanic will not tell you about the regulatory signs. Your mechanic will not tell you about defensive driving. Your mechanic will not teach you about lane discipline. And I know women, lane discipline is a problem to us. Your mechanic will not tell you the importance of putting on your seatbelt even when you are pregnant. Your mechanic will not tell you about the child sitting position. And these are the things you learn in a driving school with the help of the Nigeria Highway Code. So when you go to the driving school after 26 days, because it is online, your name will be imputed into the system. After 26 days, you'll be requested to come for a computer-based test. That is the CBT. You write the test. If you fail the test, you would have to repeat it because those are just simple things from the things you must have been taught. You want to be sure you understand 1 or 2 things before you hit the road. And once you passed the CBT, your driving school certificate will be printed out for you. And then every certificate has its own unique number. You will now make use of the unique number in processing a license. You have the option of 3 years or 5 years. You have the option of 3 years or 5 years for a license. And then when you do that, when you go online, you visit our website, which is www.nigeriasdriverslicense.org. When you go to the website, you can click on, you want to start a fresh application, then all the necessary things, it is very, very easy. You can go step by step. You choose where you want to get it done. You choose your capturing center. If you're in Lagos Island, you choose Lagos Island. If you're in Badagry, you choose Badagry. We have different locations. We have over almost 26 workstations for driver's license in Lagos and across Nigeria. Every state has their own driver's license centers, so you don't have to stress yourself. Everybody doesn't have to come to Paris or Jodu. You know, you have different locations where you can go to get your license done. So after processing the license, you know, I must say this, that the driver's license is a tripartite arrangement between the Federal Road Safety Corps, the Vehicle Inspection Office, and of course the Board of Internal Revenue, the State Board of Internal Revenue, or the Motor Vehicle Administration. So it's a tripartite arrangement. It is not just the Federal Road Safety Corps that is producing the driver's license. The three of us come together to get it done. So once you made your payments, after filling the necessary things you have filled on the form, through the website, once you make your payment, it is expected that your payment is confirmed by the Motor Vehicle Administration. Once the Motor Vehicle Administration confirms your payments, then you proceed to the Vehicle Inspection Office, where it is expected that you go through a driving test. You know, majorly you do your visual acuity. They want to see how far can you see. And, you know, many a time, some people actually have eye defects, but they don't want to put it that disabled or what have you. The fact that you have an eye defect is not a problem. You know, sometimes I wonder, you don't see too many people drive with their glasses and they are not seeing. It is not a crime if you put it there that you have an eye defect. It is for your own good that the right class of license will be issued to you, because if you get the wrong class, you know, if you now have a crash or something, your class of license will be used to judge you. So it is important to get the right class for your license. And then after the Vehicle Inspection Office, then you now proceed to the Federal Road Safety Corps. And that is why you have your biometric capturing. You know, you get captured, your face is captured, your fingers are captured, everything is captured. And after which a temporary card is printed out for you. A temporary license. The temporary license is expected to last you for 60 days, which is 2 months. After which you should have gotten a text with a unique code to pick up your license. If you don't get a text, you can visit the center where you processed the license to tell them, okay, I've not gotten a code. They could help you check, and if it's not ready, your form could be extended and you keep driving with that. So it is better to just do the right thing. Make sure you have your driver's license before you hit the road. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Route Commander Mala, and that was brilliantly said. Having answered all the questions that we have, I know a lot of us have questions that we have put in the Q&A section, but because of our time, we may not be able to take all these questions, but we're going to just take 2 of these questions. And I mean, these women are still available. They are very much members of the W community, so we can take the questions outside of this meeting. The first question is how to know if a tire has expired and what to do when your tire bursts on speed. And I would direct this question to you first, Route Commander Mala, because as I hear you are a first respondent, and so want you to just speak a little bit to this. Thank you.
Okay, remember, tire is a rubber component, and every component actually has an expiry date. Yeah, you know, if you have rubber band and you take like 20 rubber band and you keep them in a cupboard, after many weeks, if you go back there, trust me, the elasticity can never be the same. And the same thing happens to a tire. Tire really do expire. So when you have your tire, at the side of every tire, we have 4 digits in like a semicircle kind of. This looks like an oval, very funny shape. You have 4 figures written there. The first 2 figures starts for the week when the tire was manufactured, and then the last 2 figures stands for the year when the tire was manufactured. For example, you have something like 1418 or 1618. It means the tire was manufactured in the 16th week of year 2018. And 16th week, means April 2018. And for every tire, it is expected that I use the tire for 4 years. Now I come in year 2023 January, and I went to buy the Tokumbo tire that has 1618. That is, the tire must have expired 4 years after, which is April 2022. That is 1622. And FRSC apprehends you, and then I just bought the tire. Excuse you, you just bought an expired tire. I don't think anybody will want to use an expired drug, And then tire, remember, tire is the only connection the road has to a vehicle. So it is very, very important. I would like to quickly share this example. When we started the Know Your Tire campaign by the Federal Road Safety Corps, and then a couple of friends that were working in banks and different places, I told them to buy new tires. Then new tires were 15,000. And one of them was like, no, Tommy, it's too expensive. I can't buy a new tire. Tokumbo tire is like 4,000. Lo and behold, a friend of hers was getting married, and the Ashwebi was 35,000. My friend was the first person to pay for Ashwebi. That is, she placed more priority. She placed a higher priority on Ashwebi B, above the tire. So we really need to place priority on all these things. The tire, if it should burst, a lot of people did not live to tell the story of the crashes that killed them. I'm a victim of that. I lost my father like 27 years ago on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. He was an associate professor in the university, and it was the tire burst. So I'm so passionate when it comes to road safety because I can relate. I understand, like, when these crashes happen, it can actually, destroy people's lives. So some people, I was lucky, my family was lucky, but everybody might not be lucky. If you lose your father, you might not even be able to scale through school. But here I am now. I can actually tell people about safety. Your tire is very, very important. And then every tire has the expected pressure. It's just like in Nigeria, we don't like reading. If you check your seat belts, you have like a white paper labeled on the seat belt. If you check, you will see the expected pressure for the rear tire and the front tire. Just by the entrance of your vehicle, they have a laminated paper there. It is also written there. If you go into your boot and you open your boot, it is also written there. So all these informations are there. Every tire has an expected, PSI, possibly 30, 35, or what have you. So it's important you know your tire. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Beautifully, beautifully said. My last question will be to Dr. Fadeyibi. We just wanted to know if AutoCheck has any partnership with any towing company, such that if customers buy vehicles from you and whatever they have issues with their vehicles, they can easily reach out to you on the road to get their cars towed or something like that.
All right, thank you so much. In terms of our partnerships, like I mentioned, we are partnered with all stakeholders in the ecosystem. And so we're partnered with dealers, we're partnered with workshops, we're partnered with financing partners. And as part of our partnership with workshops, some of our workshops also have towing vehicles, towing mechanisms. So that way for our customers, we're able to work with them in terms of maintaining their vehicles, repairing their vehicles, and also our workshop partners can also support them definitely in terms of towing. So for us, we say, think cars, think AutoCheck. And in thinking cars, it is one, being able to afford those cars, being able to get access to those vehicles, being able to get access to inspected vehicles. So of course, the lady mechanic is somebody that, for me, I'm glad we're on this call together because inspection of vehicles, making sure your vehicles are in good condition is something that is top priority to us at AutoCheck and also to Access Bank. So definitely all things cars, AutoCheck is happy to work with you through any of our partners. So just come to AutoCheck and we're happy to serve you.
Thank you very much. And this brings us to the end of the webinar session. I want to believe that we have all learned one thing or the other. For me, it has been a very insightful session for me, and I'm glad that I could join the session. I'm sure a lot of us are already making a resolve to be intentional about our cars starting from now, and I must say that is a very good decision to make. Going further, I'm going to bring up my next speaker who will introduce the W initiative of Access Bank. I know a lot of us have been hearing about the W in the meeting today, and some of us are trying to find out what they do and who they are. My next speaker is going to do justice to that. She's an SME finance and gender manager at the W initiative. Please welcome again, Olufei-Kemi Ogumbanwo. Good afternoon, Fei, and welcome.
Okay, good afternoon, Ife. Thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone. Okay. Ife, please, can you confirm you can see my slides?
Yes, we can see your slides.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So my name is Faye Kemi, and I work out of the Women Banking team of Access Bank. So I'll briefly introduce the W initiative to all of us here. So in 2006, we started with what is called the Gender Empowerment Program, and that was a scheme designed for women in business. Basically, we wanted to just have an understanding of the women's market, and so we did more like a research into that segment to understand the borrowing power of women and their capacity, and to also determine if they are good borrowers, and we're able to invest over $50 million to female entrepreneurs in Nigeria. And with that research or market testing, we were able to conclude that women in business are actually good borrowers and were able to repay on time. And so over the years in 2014, this evolved into what is called the W initiative. And the W is basically about raising, grooming, and sustaining in our community a continued generation of women that are inspired, connected, and empowered. So prior to this, the Gender Empowerment Program was focused on women in business, but the W initiative currently right now caters to women in business, young professionals, women in their families, quintessential women, and millennials and Gen Zs. So looking at what we curated for our women, we have financial offerings and non-financial offerings that cater to the needs of our women. We have the W Power Loan, which is specially designed for women in business at a discounted interest rate of 15% per annum. And so female business owners can access up to 100 million naira. This also comes with flexible collateral. So they have the opportunity of providing credible guarantors for loans up to 10 million naira. And then above that, they are able to provide tangible collaterals. This loan can be accessed for different requirements. So if you need funds for working capital, for business expansion, and for asset financing, women are able to benefit from this, or women are able to gain access to funds under the W Power Loan. And it comes with a flexible repayment period of 36 months, and the minimum loan amount is 1 million naira. So if you are getting this loan for working capital requirements, you have the opportunity of repaying within 12 months. Aside from this, we also have our digital loans, and we have the instant business loan. This comes at an interest rate of 10% per month. So women can access between 250,000 naira to 10 million naira under the instant business loan. And this is grants access to finance for working capital requirements. So if you need short-term funds and you have the capacity to repay within 6 months, you can go for the instant business loan. And now looking at the vehicle finance scheme, we've talked a lot about vehicles, and we also have one of our partners here, that is AutoCheck. So the vehicle finance scheme we have currently in the bank, it caters to salary earners and also business owners. And what we've done for our women-owned businesses is that they can access this at a minimum of 15% per annum. Now, men can also benefit from this, but it comes at an interest rate of 27% per annum. For female salary earners, they get to enjoy a discount of 3% on the prevalent market rate. So the interest rate is 27% for men. Currently, female salary earners, can access this at a discount of 3% less the prevalent market rate. And so women are able to acquire brand new vehicles, pre-owned vehicles, and they are also able to refinance their existing vehicles, provided it's purchased from any of our approved dealers. They are expected to provide a minimum equity contribution of 10%. So if you have the capacity of contributing more than that, you are able to do that. And it comes along with vehicle registration, and also a tracker is installed on your vehicle to prevent theft. If you also need the vehicle registration and tracker installation to be financed, this scheme also caters to that. And the tenure is at least up to 48 months for brand new vehicles. For pre-owned vehicles, you get up to 36 months, and female salary earners get up to 54 months for repayment. Moving on to our maternal health service support, this is designed to help women and families overcome their financial challenges and support them in their quest for parenthood and quality health care. And so who can apply for this? A woman who needs to improve her health or needs to undergo specialized procedures, she can request for this loan. A man can also request for this for his spouse if he has more capacity to repay. And a third party can also sponsor a woman to help her in improving her health. And the bank has partnered with fertility clinics over Nigeria to provide this to our female customers. So this covers, the maternal health service support basically covers fertility treatments, child delivery. So if you want to give birth in Nigeria or you want to travel out to do this, it also covers fibroid treatments, bariatric treatments. That is if you want to lose weight or undergo weight loss procedures, and other specialized procedures like optical surgeries, dental surgeries, and the likes are also covered under this scheme. And you can access up to 4 million naira at a discounted interest rate of 14% per annum with a repayment period of 24 months. When we considered, what else we could do for our women, we came up with the W cards, which is specially designed for our female customers. And so it functions just like a normal debit card, but then you have access to discounts from our partner stores. So you are not just using your cards to make payments online, to make withdrawals. You also are able to walk into our partner stores and access discounts up to 30% on any product or service you would like to enjoy. So you can walk into any of our Access Bank branches and get your W debit card if you are yet to do so. Looking at our non-financial offerings, we have what we came up with last year called the Ladies Let's Drive Mechanic. So we realized we don't have many women driving, and just as we've heard from our speakers on this webinar, it's something you can also make money from. So aside from learning how to drive, having this as a survival skill, you can also make money while driving. And so we partnered with FRC accredited driving schools in Nigeria to provide driving classes to our women at a discounted interest rate of 40%. And you get to learn how to drive. You go through 26 classes, and it's open to women in Lagos, Benin, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Kano, Calabar, Kaduna, and Akwa Ibom. And as time goes on, this would also expand into the other states we have in Nigeria. And so if you're looking to learn how to drive, you can come on board, and the first women would get an extra 5,000 naira discount when you sign up with us on the Ladies Let's Drive initiative. If you'd like to know more about this, you can follow us at the W community to indicate your interest. So if you want to stay up to date with all that the W community has for women, you don't want to miss out on any information, and you want to get first-hand information on all that Access Bank has for women, please follow us at the W community on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter For more inquiries, you can send an email to us at wcares@accessbankplc, and be sure you will get feedback from us. So a feedback form is going to be deployed. If you are interested in any of the products, the W Power Loan, the vehicle loan, the W card, the Lady Let's Drive initiative, you can indicate that on the feedback form, and we look forward to hear from you. If you would like to know what more we have for you, what is coming up next with W, kindly watch out. Thank you so much, Ife, for this opportunity to speak to our women, and over to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Olufe Kemi. There you have it. That is what the W Initiative is about. And we are here for you. So whatever you want to do, you want to get inspired, you want to get connected, you want to get empowered, the W is your one-stop shop for it. Thank you once again, Feyikemi, for that introduction to W. Right now, like Feyikemi said, a link is being dropped in the comment section to get your feedback, because your feedback is very, very important to us and we want to hear from you. So please make sure to fill the form, and we'll look through them to get your feedback on how you want us to improve on our webinars and so on. Don't also forget, like Feyikemi mentioned, to follow us across all our social media platforms. We are on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at the W Community. Also ensure that you click the subscription button to follow us on YouTube as well, so that you can get first-hand information on all our events and our offerings. This is the end of the session today, and what better way to end it than to bring up my last speaker, who will be giving us the closing remarks, and she is none other than the group head of the W Initiative. Please welcome Abiodun Olubiton. Good afternoon, Abiodun.
Good evening, Ifeoluwa, and thank you so much for a very, very informative session once again this evening. Good evening, everyone. Seriously, I've been driving for like 16 years, but I can tell you that even today I've learned again. And one thing that women would usually do is to, in as much as we are very, we pay attention to details, we are better, careful drivers than men. You want to claim a right, you don't like to be cheated on the road. I heard a word there that says, don't drive to claim rights, drive to save your life. So please just, I don't know, a lot of information has been put out there this evening. How you can even empower yourself with the driving skill, how you can choose the car that best suits, the kind of purpose that you want to get the car for. Either it's for personal use, if it's for commercial use. And really, I think that this evening has been very, very defining for me, because despite all that you think you know, you keep learning every day. And obviously, that's the goal for W Initiative, which is always to inspire, to connect, and to empower women. I want to really appreciate everyone that have joined this session this evening. I'm sure I'm not the only one that have learned and enjoyed the session thoroughly. We have all equally done that. I want to especially thank our speakers that have shared very generously with us. Sandra Ogwebo, thank you so much. The lady mechanic. In fact, I'm sure you're going to have a lot of subscription to your initiative after this session. Thank you so much. Ikechi Toluwani, thank you so much. If you are looking to start making money via driving, I think you should look out for them. And of course, Officer Mala. Officer Mala is not your friend when you break the law, so don't call her. Make sure you are abiding by the rules. She has taken us through the session again this evening. She's always very available every time we call her. And of course, Dr. Maya, thank you so much for all the information you have shared without holding back this evening to benefit everyone that has joined. And of course, I'm sure we have some men online. I've seen people from Ghana, from Mozambique, and I'm like, wow. So this program is not limited to Nigeria, it's across the globe. And every time we bring it together, we always have you on mind. And please continue to be our audience every month when we come together to share and learn together as women and as a people. And of course, till next time, I want to say thank you and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much. Ife, over to
Thank you very much, Abiodun. Thank you so much. A very big thank you to our speakers who have taken our time to educate us. And thank you, as always, to the W Initiative of Access Bank for always putting together amazing sessions such as this. And the beautiful thing is that the W Initiative addresses issues related to all segments of life. So make sure to look out for our next webinar coming up in May. It is Start the W Baby Prep Masterclass, and it's for expectant parents, moms and dads to be. It's happening on May 11th, and it will cover areas on pregnancy trimesters, nutrition in pregnancy, reducing miscarriage risk, and preparing for labor and childbirth. And it's going to be by seasoned medical experts. So please make sure that you do not miss this. Registration details will be out on the W community page very soon. So be sure to look out for it. Thank you once again for joining us today. We'll come your way next time. My name is Ifeoluwa Omoto, and this is W, inspiring, connecting, empowering. Have a great one, everyone. Bye.
I see a light inside of you, so let it shine. It's time to spread your wings and fly. Reach for the sky. Get up, don't let nothing hold ya. Get up right now, right now. Get up, don't let nobody tell you that you can't. There is greatness inside of you. You're the one that the world is waiting for. Every step you take, we go there, 'cause we believe in you. Say one day you go make a one day, one day, one day. Don't let nothing push you down. Yes, we believe in you. Don't you give up on yourself till the world knows who you are. Keep on shining. Get up, don't let nothing hold ya. Get up right now, right now. Get up, don't let nobody tell you that you can't. There is greatness inside of you. You're the one that the world is waiting for. Every step you take, we go there, 'cause we believe in you. Say one day you go make a one day, one day, one day. One day you'll be like the sun. So one day you go shine.
Access, more than banking.
I'm tired of trying. I need help. I want to try IVF. I know it's expensive.
Are you struggling with a health challenge? Do you need financial help to access treatment? If yes,
apply now for MHSS, the Maternal Health Service Support, a discounted loan by the W initiative of Access Bank with low interest rates, no loan fees, flexible repayment plan. This is your best bet for financing your health needs. For more information, visit our website on www.vwcommunity.com or any Access Bank branch nationwide. You can also send an email to wcares@accessbankplc.com. Terms and conditions apply. The MHSS has successfully financed hundreds of health procedures.
the next one could be yours.
Business women can now access a flexible vehicle finance loan specially designed with their interests at heart. Are you a woman in business, or do you know a woman in business who is interested in purchasing a vehicle? If your answer is yes to any of these two questions, then this message is for you. With our exciting loan offers, women in business can now purchase brand new or pre-owned vehicles from the bank's approved vendors with an equity contribution as low as 10%, a competitive interest rate of 15%, and a tenure of up to 48 months. To get started, send us an email on wcares@accessbankplc.com. Share the good news and get on board.
Mommy, my tummy hurts so much. I'm scared.
It is well, my daughter.
Me self, I'm scared. You should be at your store already. Why can't we use one of these cars?
Who will drive it? You?
Sis, so we can't drive yet. I beg, leave me.
Careful, first, Joe. Book that ride.
It is important that women do not only learn how to drive, but to fully understand the driving rules and be a professional on the road.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
This road is a one-way. Where did you learn how to drive?
This is why the W initiative of Access Bank has partnered with the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, to provide intensive driving training for women across Nigeria at very discounted rates, as well as other amazing offers, such as the driver's license processing assistance. Check out our social media pages at the W Community or send an email to wcares@accessbankplc.com. Do not miss out on this opportunity. Hurry now and let's get you driving.